Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We are back again.
Hello, times three.
Just so you know, we are like right around, I forget the actual number, but we're pushing 280 episodes.
Nice.
So we're coming close to that 300 mark, sister. So we need to
That's awesome.
think about something.
Well, I've been thinking about all kinds of somethings. I just don't know what's going to
I know.
transpire from all of it. I will tell you after we get done with everything, the recording and stuff today, I am going to call my dad. I'm going
Oh, hold, please. Bev's going to call her
to,
dad.
I'm just going to go I just feel so different. So
Hold on. Start back with I'm going to call my dad because we had a glitch.
I'm going to call my dad and I'm going to talk to him. And if he's receptive to the call, he is. And if he's not, he's not. Because I can't call my mom. I mean, I can. She's just not in
Mom's
physical
already
control
here.
anymore. Yes. But it's like, I don't, there, my mom's not going to be able to give me the information that my dad can tell me if he moved out of the house. I want to know what was my reactions. How was I when that happened? I want to, I just want to, I'm not necessarily going to get the information that I'm looking for, but I'm going to ask questions because what does it hurt? It doesn't hurt for anything to ask a question. If he thinks I'm silly or whatever, who cares? I don't care because I don't think I'm silly. I have questions within inside of me, and if he can enlighten me, wonderful. But what I'll do before I make that phone call is I will set it up with my angels. Honestly, I will ask my angels for this to be a very enlightening conversation, a very growth conversation for both of us, right? Because I would want my dad to evolve too. I don't hate my dad. I'm not. I just grew up with a different perspective of him, and he was the bad guy. His dad was the one that was the molester. In my world, that's how it all was when they were so much more than all those things. But it's just fascinating to go through these growth times and just I feel fearless, really. So when you say spread your wings and fly, I feel fearless about doing that right now, which is awesome.
But I want to hit up on what you said that you're going to set up the conversation with your angels first. Like that may not have been your exact words, but the idea that when you're getting ready to have what might seem like uncomfortable or hard conversations, it could be conversations in general, to be honest, because I was in a meeting just the other day and it's one of those it was one of those things. I was there to represent our organization, but it really didn't pertain to what I do in the organization. And I'm like, everybody was sharing something that was going on, but based on the topic, I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, I have no idea what to say about what we're doing because it has nothing to do with what all these people are doing, right? So there was two of us there from our organization, and so I sat there and I'm like, okay, Archangel Gabriel, um, help me find some words to say that would be beneficial to this conversation. Well, the other person, my coworker, was sitting like two people. We were in a circle, so we weren't sitting side by side. She was sitting over a couple people away from me, and the way that the circle was going, she was talking first. And so I was just like sitting there and like, okay, Gabriel, what's it gonna be, And she started talking, and then the conversation was directed my way, so I went with it, and then that was that. So it's like we have assistance for everything if we were choosing to use it. But we think we're alone. We think we have to have all these hard conversations on our own. We think we have to, be brave to pick up that phone, to make the phone call, when it's like, okay, Archangel Michael, give me help, be with me to help me have the courage and strength and confidence to pick up the phone and have this conversation. And Archangel Samuel, help me have the patience and the calmness within my body, and just have such a loving conversation. And Archangel Gabriel, help me have the words, help me formulate the words where this conversation feels comfortable and easy and connected. Like there's so much help available to us. Or it's your mom, hey mom, you were with this guy, help me
That's
go
good.
through this, right?
Yeah.
So, I call in my grandmother all the time. Like my grandfather was a strong, like male uh energy, but I was more scared of my grandmother. And my grandma took care of me. She nurtured me. She loved me. And, I was excited when I was young to watch Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune and Young and the Restless with her. I just always wanted to be around my gram, but I knew don't cross her. Right. So, but I always call her in. Like, I'm like, okay, Graham, I need some help with this relationship, or something's coming up and I need I need your strength. But, and I talked to her, but my grandfather's the one that shows up with the cigarette smoke that fills the room. And anyway, so we're not alone. And we have this amazing team of spirit entities, whether it's God, angels, or our loved ones, to call upon to help us get through these things. And they're also there to help us celebrate too. It's not just for the heaviness, it's for the celebrations as well.
Yeah. Because that's our wisdom. That is our wisdom. I mean, we've gained a lot here, but they even have more because they're no longer in this physical arena and they're in a different space, so they can see things differently. And they have zero attachments to an outcome. When we have an attachment to an outcome, it's not always easy to see the other side of things.
And I love that you said that. They have zero attachment to it. So they can show up in their fullness for us as long as we're willing to tap into it and receive their help or their guidance or their support.
So interesting. This has been such an interesting day. There's all the stuff that we're talking about. Really, it's like my mind is like it could go in so many different directions. My mind could. And so I guess I would probably just tune into spirit really more and see how we want to flow with things, because it's fascinating. Everything, my gosh, just the start of the day has been great because I put on some old music. I had the Tiger when I walked up the mountain this morning, because I do that walk in the mornings. And because that's, I was sitting here in the last few months, and I because I haven't been going to the gym. I was a person since 2000 and probably 2000. I went to the gym 6 days a week. I worked out 6 days a week, period. There was no flexibility in that. My life revolved around the gym. Everything else came after the gym. Even saying that sounds like my kids were like teenagers, but yeah. So I hear me right now. But it's like there's just so much that's transpired. I don't even know where I was going with things now. I was on a mission from God, and then all of a sudden it wasn't there anymore.
Well, and you could change the perspective and maybe, whatever you were going to talk about will pop up. But in the meantime, to change your perspective, that I was teaching my kids how to take care of themselves. And I made myself a priority. So my physical fitness was my priority. And I made it a priority, which meant I made me a priority. And
which is a better way.
But yeah, but you could see it from, well, I was selfish in my time and I didn't give it to them. And right, we could tell a whole different story. It's just giving people permission that, hey, if you need the me time, then take the me time.
Yeah.
I am around people and having conversations all day long. And it could be from like 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Like, I want to go home. I'm done peopling. I need to be away from people because of the energy of the let me say this, many opportunities I get to learn or to practice maintaining my own energy amongst so many different personalities and conversations and energy. And it's like, okay, because I get asked, I was not so much anymore, but I was getting asked almost on a daily basis to go hang out with people after work. I'm like, nope, no, thank you. I'm going home. I'm going to go home. I don't say it to them, but I'm like, I'm going to go home and sit in my peace and my quiet, and I'm done peopling for the day. I don't have the bandwidth. Like y'all have maxed out my practice of maintaining my energy today. And there are days that I don't do so good. So I just want to, it's been quite the practice being out in the public with a job and doing this on a daily basis. So trust me, I am getting the university PhD practice of maintaining my energy now, and it's quite interesting on some days.
Well, I remembered I was referencing the time frames because I used to work out all the time like that, all the way up to probably about maybe 2 years ago, a year ago. It's been out for me. Nobody else can go do these things. And
Hold
I've
on,
noticed
slight
things.
glitch. I had another glitch. So you worked out for up till about 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's worked out for up to about 1 or 2 years ago, and then it's like you start letting things go. And then I'm on the other side of things, like I don't like the way things are looking right now. You know, judging myself, but now I realize, okay, well now I know what that looks like, or now I know how that feels like. So my whole point for everything was the only person that can do it for me is me. So I go hiking up the hill, I turn on Eye of the Tiger, I'm getting myself motivated to do these things. I'm doing things all the time to make myself happy, just and not even realizing, because this stuff's all for me. It's for the health of this vessel while I'm still traveling around in this vessel, because I'm not going to die. The body's going to give out, and then I'm going to go off somewhere else. So I just wanted people to, understand that when there's things that you're desiring and you're wanting, if you're sitting there waiting and thinking someone's going to show up and do it for you or give it to you or do any of these things, you got to get up and do it yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to be the motivational factor. You've got to be your own cheerleader for yourself. End of story. We can do it for other people only after we've done for ourselves. Just like we can't go help other people. I mean, you can with an empty cup, but you're only going to last for so long, and then you're going to feel a certain way about that help afterwards because you weren't doing it from a full or overflowing cup. So it's like all this process that I've had to learn. So that's why I share it with people. This is stuff that I had to learn. Nobody was going to go do it for me, and I can sit and bitch about it, or I can sit and go do something about it. I started, just taking the time to do facials on myself, taking the time to do cupping on my legs and stuff like that. If I didn't like the way the skin was looking, adding oils to it, like doing things to help myself. And so that's been very empowering for me lately. So it was just kind of along those lines. But I do like the way that you shifted the perspective, the terminology of when I was raising the kids at that time, because that's how it sounded. Even though I was there for everybody else, and then I made myself go to the gym so I could be strong, so I could do these things, so someone could walk up and pat me on the back and say, "Good job, Bev."
Yeah.
Because I needed the kudos back then. I don't need the kudos anymore.
Right. And back then, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've had similar mindset thoughts, is back then it was, I need, like you just said, I need to be in shape. I need to have a nice physique. I need to be appealing to other people. I need to get those kudos for how well I'm doing and how good I look and all the things. So yeah, in the mind, it was a whole different story then. And now it's like, well, I was taking care of my health and my physical strength and physical abilities, which is also very important as I get older. But the story today is way different than what the story was then. So people just having the understanding that you can change your perspective about whatever it is you're going through now instead of waiting till later. Why? Maybe ask the question, why do I need people to recognize me? Why do I need people to give me kudos? Why do I need to look good for other people? Why am I feeling guilty about not spending time with my kids? And those are the deeper questions that help you go into those layers that are seeking some healing mentally and emotionally, that it would be important for you to move through all that, and not all of it, but move through whatever's coming up, because it's going to show up again and again and again until you do or don't. It's just whichever.
It's true. And for me, I will tell you, it was my little girl never felt like she was doing something right unless somebody was telling her that she was doing good.
Right.
Doing such a great job, right? And so it was the same thing. It was that same. Now here you fast forward, right? We've talked about this a million times, but prospectively, my 5-year-old is now in a let's say in a 28-year-old body or a 30-year-old body, and she's still being the 5-year-old. She's still waiting for someone to tell her that she did a good job or that she did, and then overachieving, being perfect, like all those things to get all that. We could call it attention, and it was attention, but it was like for me, as we're having the conversation, it was the only way, because I wasn't my cheerleader. I wasn't saying you're doing a good job. It was always something outside of me that was telling me you were doing good or you're doing bad, or how come you can't be like your sister, or how can, things like that. So it's like it's a fascinating process, and seeing my 5-year-old running the show still. Like if I would have looked, if my 5-year-old would have been in this and is in this body, is looking in the mirror and be like, what the hell happened to me? Like this, that's not me. I'm 5. This looks like mom.
I love
It's
it.
funny. It's funny because we just grow and change so much. But collect in a lot of ways, I was still that same child for until even this morning.
Yeah. And it's just our inner child that really wants to be safe.
Yeah.
And each time we heal a layer of our wounds from our history, the more that little girl or little boy inside feels safe. To this day, I will notice, I've talked about this before, but I notice that when the inner stories start to surface, it's not the inner stories that's surfacing. It shows up as stress and overwhelm and anger. Then I have to process that as, what is the stress, overwhelm, and anger actually associated to? What are the stories in me that I'm still hanging on to that I haven't had the opportunity yet to look at and do some healing around? And so when I start to feel the stress start settling in my neck and shoulders, the overwhelm is I'm feeling like things are out of control, chaotic, and I'm not going to be able to get through this. And then it's the story of I'm not good enough. See, I've fucked this one up again, or this time. And then when I feel that way, the overwhelm then turns to anger, because I turn that anger inward of I'm mad at myself because I couldn't handle it and it got chaotic and out of my control, right? The whole story. So when I start to feel the stress, I've started training myself to put my hand on my heart and the other hand on my abdomen, and just sit and breathe and go, I am safe. I am okay. And I just keep repeating those two statements over and over and over with my breath until I can feel my body calm down. And then I pick up where I was and move forward. I've had to, and this is one of the opportunities that I am getting for myself by working at this organization and being around people and being in charge of overseeing events and the setup and all the things. And that's a lot of moving pieces. That's a lot of people involved. And when you have it in your head that it's going to turn out a certain way or go a certain way, and it's not, now everything is just out of sorts and you got to figure it out. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And I'm like, nope, hand on my heart, hand on my abdomen. I am safe and I am okay. I am safe and I am okay. I am safe and I am okay. And I just keep saying that until I can relax and pick up and keep moving forward. And so, yeah, if you want to do some healing and you want to deep dive and you think you got your shit together, you just put yourself in situations where you got to show up for yourself, because I tell you what, you either show up or you're gonna slide back.
It's a temporary slide back though. I mean, because we can't.
It is.
Especially where we're at on our journey. It's like even for me this morning, it's just such a quick thing. Even for you, we've talked about like you process these things, and it's like it's in our past, it would have lasted so much longer. And it's so that's another aspect of why we keep doing the things that we're doing, because it does get easier and easier. And we are freer. We're not being held hostage by our old thoughts. Like we're a dog on a leash and we give ourselves a little bit more leash room, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, because it's easy to go live in the cave. I mean, I don't live in a cave, but it'd be easy to go live in a cave and not deal with anybody, and then just go and deal with a little bit, take off, just digest a little bit what you can chew and go back to the cave. But in reality, we're out among other people, and that's going to present opportunities of triggers, and it
Yeah.
really is,
Yeah.
thankfully. And then it's
Oh, another glitch. Hang on, friends.
still asking them questions, even still to process that. How do I manage this? How do I process these feelings right now? I'm feeling this like right now. And you just gave one of the ways, was my hand on the heart and the hand on the abdomen. I mean, that's a simple thing. And it's like focusing on the heart. When you're going to go talk to people, or if you're going to get up in front of people, it's like, okay, connecting to the heart. And if you don't, because I'm not always good with all the angels' names, but I'll just call them the angels. Okay, archangels, whoever needs to come forward, or whoever feels like they're best for the job, this is what I'm looking for right now.
Yep.
And I want to feel more love in this conversation. I want to have an understanding when I talk to this person. And it's also having healthy boundaries for everything. Like we've been learning this process. I was just talking to a mutual person, and hopefully he reached out to you Friday. That, it's really paying attention to our feelings. It's really going with our growth, and it's really reaching out to the people that are around us, because when we have this inside of us to reach out and to contact, like let's say that for him to contact you, there's a reason. It's like there's the nudge that's coming from outside of self, from these guides that are trying to help us. Like, you asked for the help, I'm giving you the guidance. I'm pulling you over this direction. Hey, you've thought about Amy how many times? Okay. And then I finally just told him, I said, listen, today's the day.
Yeah.
Well, does she work? She does
Don't
work.
matter.
Today's the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And he
So
did,
it's just like,
just so you know, he did.
good. I figured he would, because he's a person that would. I
Yeah.
mean, he keeps his word for stuff like that. And I feel like there's similar paths that are happening there, honestly. And it's freaking, it's awesome, because I get to sit and watch it kind of unfold a little bit. So it just amazing stuff. So it's like, we're telling everybody these things because there's benefits, and because we're not alone, because there are other things to help us. And guess what? From the template, from the story, from that I've experienced in this lifetime, I don't have all the answers. So the only way that I can tap in and tune into those answers is to go outside of self. And that means for me to go, or to connect with the all that is.
Yeah. And they're always there. It never
Yeah.
deviates. They're always there. Always there. We have to remember they're there. And there are moments I get caught up in my own head and I forget to ask for help, but I'm leaning into it more and more and more, because everything takes practice, right? So the more you practice, the more you remember. It's just like learning cursive or just printing the alphabet. It was just one thing at a time, over and over and over and over. So just remembering to practice, and we get plenty of opportunities in all kinds of ways.
Yeah. And it's just staying present through the process, really.
Yeah.
Being in the now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a practice in itself, as well as being in the now. I can tell you how many conversations I've had recently in the past few months about now.
Yeah.
About now. So, friends, if this resonated with you, be resourceful, share the information, the content, the links, whatever it is, whether it's for us or other people, other podcasters or influencers or authors, it doesn't matter. Be resourceful, help people get the information that may be beneficial for them, because you're not alone. You're not the only one seeking this information. Out of almost 7 billion people on the planet, there are others like you, similar to you, that are on similar paths and would desire the information that we're sharing in our conversations, let alone anybody else that are having the conversations that resonate. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, and Podcast Addict. I don't know why I just have a blink with that one. Podcast Addict. So we're in many platforms. So share us. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box and we'll come back to it at our earliest convenience. Any final words?
I want to remind everybody exactly what you said. When you're getting stressed out and you feel like you're not safe or there's stuff going on in your life, hand on the heart, hand on the stomach at the same time, and
Yeah.
taking some rest. I want to remind people to do that because I think it's very valuable. It's very valuable information. It's simple. It's easy to do. You can disappear to the restroom, go sit in your cubicle wherever it's quiet. You don't have to make any tones or any sounds or anything like that. It's very simple and it's very helpful.
Yeah. That's another reason, just side note before we end, is another reason why I created weighted blankets. Weighted blankets are that comfort. And so if you can just put that hand on your heart and abdomen, it just brings that comfort into the body to help you feel safe. So that's one reason.
That's awesome because I had a weighted blanket in my adult life in the last 5 years, and I can't say enough for it. Maybe it's like being swaddled. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, just that
Yeah.
comfort. All right, friends.
Awesome.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We'll see you next time.